Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another Soul Sisters show with host Sue Schumacher and myself, Anoulla. And today we have January 30th in US and Europe, and January 31st in Australia. I can't seem to speak properly today. So we are a live call-in show, so why don't give us a ring at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. And join us and have fun, ask questions, discuss our topic today, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. International callers dial +1 213 943 3587. And remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in queue, and we see that you want to talk with us live on the show. And as I said, I'm Anne, coming to you live from Rhodes, Greece today. And on today's show, we will continue the discussion about near-death experiences. This is part 2 of 2 episodes in a mini-series. And if you didn't have the time to listen to last week's show, that was near-death experience part 1, Thursday the 23rd. You can listen to the replay anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And we will, of course, as usual, take your calls for questions and mini readings live on air today. Or why not share your own near-death experience with us if you have one yourself, or you heard about a friend that told you something. We are very interested to hear what you have to say. We are a live call-in worldwide radio, broadcasting today's show from Arizona in the US and Rhodes, Greece in Europe. And you can listen live and text chat with us during the show at scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live. It's all on the same page, or why not give us a ring at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. We take your calls for questions and free mini readings live on air, or why not discuss our topic today, near-death experiences. International callers dial +1 before the number. And remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in the queue, and we can see that you want to talk with us live on the show. On today's show, we are going to talk about near-death experiences, part 2 of 2 episodes in a mini-series with host Sue and myself, Anne. And of course, we take your calls for questions and mini readings live on air. And once again, if you missed part 1 of the mini-series about near-death experiences last week, you can listen to the replay anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. Now is a great time to get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And we are so honored and happy to be with us every Thursday. And if you haven't listened to us before, we are the show that discusses the Akashic Records, soul realignment, healing modalities in general, and of course, we love to talk about any and all spiritual topics. We are also always a live call-in worldwide radio show, and we now have listeners in 17 countries, and we want to thank you all for honoring us with listening in wherever you are in the world, calling in, chatting with us in the chat room, and trusting us to answer your questions. So our listeners are currently in Australia, Bhutan, Canada, Egypt, Spain, France, United Kingdom, Greece, India, Ireland, Morocco, Mauritius, Nigeria, Netherlands, New Zealand, Sweden, and United States. That is a great honor. So it's 17 countries. That's absolutely amazing. So call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and now is a great time to get your spot in the queue early. And I want to once again mention that Scrolls of the Soul Radio are now on YouTube. Since a few weeks, we recently created a new channel where you can find full episodes of past shows, currently from 19th of December last year. And we did this because YouTube is a big social media, so to speak, or forum, and we want to make it easy for everyone to listen to the replays anytime. You can read more at scrollsofthesoul.com/post/YouTube. scrollsofthesoul.com/post/YouTube to find out more, or you can just open YouTube and search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly. And please, if you want to help us out, please subscribe to help us build the channel and also to keep yourself updated on published episodes on YouTube. And we also post short videos of upcoming episodes, so you will always be in tune, so to speak. Now, let me bring on my co-host for Soul Sisters today, Sue, all the way from Arizona in the U.S. Hi, Sue. How are you? I missed you.
Hi, Sissy. I'm doing good. Just warming up a little. It's actually chilly here, believe it or not. I thought we were just starting to warm up in the desert, but our temperatures seem to dip back down, which is fine. I'm not complaining because 115 degrees for 6 months out of the year, yeah, I'll take a little bit of chill weather every once in a while.
It's nice to freeze a little, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I avoided to say hot Arizona today. Did you notice that?
I noticed. I noticed. Soon enough, that is exactly what you'll be saying. Give it a couple more months.
So, everybody, call in now for questions and free mini readings live on air and get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And of course, if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue for a more personal reading, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And why not go to scrollsofthesoul.com where you can find out many more things about us. So before we move on with today's show, I know that my sissy and my soul sister Sue wants to recap what last show was about.
Well, kind of makes sense that it's about near-death experiences, considering this is part two of the topic. But what I will do, if you want to just kind of dive in now, Sissy, because by bringing up last week's, I'm automatically going to move into this week's, is kind of just give a summary of some of the areas we started with this topic. And as we said
Yes.
before last week, this is, it's not a complete area of expertise. It is one that I studied early on when first getting into the healing arts, and was just drawn in purely by wanting to know, what happens to those once they die. And I'm not claiming any experience of my own, but it was that curiosity factor that kind of brought me into that line of thinking and research. And one of the first books I had looked into, an author was Dr. Wayne Dyer, which I think for most of us in this arena all know who Dr. Wayne Dyer is. And one of the first books I read was Memories of Heaven. And this is a children's astounding recollection of the time before they came to Earth. Very dramatic and vivid memories of their experiences. And I believe Anne had posted in the chat room all the books that were brought up last week when we spoke about this topic, including Dr. Wayne Dyer's book.
Yes,
so
but it's actually cleared, but I'm going to post them again.
Okay. So, it's an interesting topic for those just who are curious, like when you're younger, you don't really think of death in the afterlife, but I think as you get older, these, inquiring minds kind of want to know. And there's a lot of good data out there and really solid information that people have gathered over the years. And so, it was just an area that I was fascinated with at the time, looking for answers. So with that, I'll proceed a little more. So just a quick kind of overview of some of the aspects of what we talked about last week. One of them was what happens during near-death experiences. And these are experiences that people have reported. People in near-death experiences often report experiencing features that form a common pattern among the millions of people throughout history who have reported near-death experiences. Scientists investigating near-death experiences have found the pattern of what usually happens during this time is consistent and worldwide among people of all different ages, cultures, backgrounds, religions, and beliefs. And that information comes from the International Association for Near-Death Studies. This group is a massive database of stories and information, and scientific information as well as spiritual information. And they have a lot of good stuff you could gather if it's something you're interested or just want to look into. So one of the first things, of course, that is reported is the traditional, leaving the body, as they say, that feeling of leaving that people describe, where they see themselves, they're floating above their bodies, they see doctors and nurses, maybe or family members in the room at the time. and can also hover over their bodies for a while. And then the next one will be traveling through a tunnel once that, the hovering occurs and now it's traveling through a tunnel. And how that works for them is a tunnel appears in the air and draws the souls of people into it, propelling them forward quickly. And so that's kind of one of the next steps that is reported. Moving on from that, they perceive changes in time and space, which that aspect always intrigues me because, as they say, time is linear, and to think about that, what we perceive here as time and space, we perceive it through both seasons, right? Um, Seasons we can see, our own body seasons, um, time on a clock, and then of course we equate space with which is what is above us. What is
Yes.
out in the ethers, what it is we don't
Yes.
see. So that's always kind of an area I could probably delve in a little more in the future, which I've always been fascinated about and cannot conceive in my mind um, perceiving a change uh, beyond time and space. It's so hard to wrap your brain around that idea. So that's
Yes.
my kind of
Yes, it is.
little thought on it. And then, of course, the other aspect to that is once that occurs, then they're encountering a light of love. People report meeting a powerful spiritual being who appears in the form of a brilliant light. Now, most people will equate that to a religious experience. And I'll say right off the bat, a lot of people who have reported to the International Association of Near Death Studies are those who have no religious beliefs at all. So it's these are what I'm giving the audience are all the common denominators that are reported from all cultures all across the world, with all aspects of religion or no religious belief at all. And these are the sensations that are reported. So
Yes.
that is just kind of
it's intriguing.
Right, it is. And that's just what I touched upon last week when we first started kind of tapping into this topic a little bit. From there, what is reported are people have said that they have met angels or deceased family members. And I think, like we've discussed before, it's almost as if you would expect that would occur. And again, um, this is coming from a huge scientific database. I can't even stress that enough about non-denominational people who have no religious background or belief reporting angels and deceased family members. So I think it's quite intriguing. Um, they become aware of many spirits um, that surrounded them, and they embrace and feel supported. Um, there's that gentleness, that loving feeling. There's knowledge and guidance, unreported. I felt one of them approach from my right upper side. This familiar presence came forward, and my feelings changed to sheer joy when I discovered my 30-year-old brother-in-law, the one who had died several months earlier from cancer. My essence moved to meet his essence. I couldn't see with my eyes or hear with my ears, yet I instinctively knew who it was. Wills, she said. So that's a very impassioned statement, and
Yes, it is.
Just kind of taking that in. There's some really deep information in that statement. Um, that full awareness without, eyes to see or ears to hear, and yet there that person is, that physical presence, that presence, and that knowing is there. It's evident. It's obvious. Think about that. Try and wrap your brain around that. Having no eyes to see, no ears to hear, and yet this is the sequence of event that occurred for this
Yes.
person, and the joy, the sheer joy that was felt when that was discovered. We can't imagine that continual state of being in joy. So I take that very seriously when I read that. I
Yes.
believe that. I believe wholeheartedly that's exactly what occurred. So moving on from that, one of the other aspects, as like I said, the research has shown, undergoing a life review. Now, this one I had trouble with, and the only reason I say that, and I debated on whether, okay, do I be true to this and even add it or not, and I had to be true to the data. Um, Undergoing a life review, for most people, we are going to perceive that as a religious statement, because for us, we're going to say that somehow we're being judged, right? When that
Yes.
occurs. But
Yes.
because there
It's like you have to answer to your life and what you did. That's
right,
how I perceive that.
right, and again, I have to refer back to the millions. I mean, these are millions of people that from all walks of life who have continually reported the same. The
Yeah.
statistics are there; they're out there. You can't deny it. So from believers to non-believers. So this,
Yeah.
I say this part knowing that some would have issue with this part of it, the undergoing of a life review, but I don't say it as
I,
far as having any expertise. I
no,
have to
I have
take them for
something
their word.
to add. I have something to add to this one because I sense that if you see this, if you step out of the traditional religious factor that one can combine with this undergoing a life review, you can also see it as going through your life just to gain deeper understanding. And sometimes I do, just as many others, and most likely you too. We
Hmm.
we are kind of a product of our growth and upbringing and traditions and culture and everything. So we tend to put a label on things, even if we are developing ourselves and growing. So we are stepping back into something that we feel is coming to a point where we are to answer, like I usually see this thing. But because
Right,
so many people actually have stated this, so I feel that it's very important, and there's always a different way of perceiving it and seeing things
right,
and understanding it. So it doesn't need to be a judgment
right. Well, let me give you
in
more
that
of an
sense.
explanation of what is stated under this. Okay, so you have, of course, that's another reported aspect, right? And under that, which is undergoing a life review, people usually see a panoramic movie of their lives replayed for them, featuring
Yeah,
every experience they had on Earth simultaneously. Could you imagine that? You're I mean, basically you're standing in a room that's circular, and every part of your life
yeah.
is just visually playing in like this movie theater type vision. Uh,
I have
Yet
to make a
in
joke here. I'm sorry. I need to make a joke. It
go
depends
ahead.
on your life, but I think that my life that haven't been ordinary in any way, I think I would have to spend much time to do. Really have to see everything going on.
Well, I think too. There's the older you get, there's many aspects of life we just totally forget about. So that would kind of be intriguing to see some of that. Not saying I want to
Yes,
review, but just to kind of look back. So, and I'll go further. So during this life review, people can recognize
yes,
how their choices, and this is key, how their choices affected themselves and other people. And I'm going to stop right there for
yes,
a second, Sissy, because the word that really jumps out at me is the word choices. And that is the word we
yes,
commonly use, you and I, when
yes,
we're doing our work in soul realignment. In soul
yes,
realignment and the healing modality, uh, and the Akashic records, it is all about choice. So,
yes. It is.
so that one I found to be kind of connect to something you and I are extremely familiar with. So let me move
Yes,
on from that. A person quoted in evidence of an afterlife, the science of near-death experience states, every second from birth until death, you will see and feel, and you will, in quotes, experience your emotions and others that you hurt and feel their pain and emotions. That's some heavy stuff right there, you know? But again,
yeah,
I have to revert back to one word, which is choices. I think
yes,
it comes down to choices. Um,
yes. It does.
yeah. So, and there's there's a lot more to that, and I won't, I'll try not to review it all. I see we are coming down to the bottom of the hour, um, so I didn't want to move on too much more um, at the moment, and just give that off to
Okay.
you. Take that over, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. My time. Okay, everybody listening in to us. We are today talking about near-death experiences part two. So we had part one in a mini series of two episodes going on here. And last Thursday, we started with part one. And if you didn't have a chance to listen to the show last week, or even if you missed a few minutes of this one, you can always go to scrollsofthesoul.com/past, scrollsofthesoul.com/past, to listen to any replay of any show, of course, that we have been doing in the past at a time that is convenient for you. And if you haven't called in yet, now is a great time to call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And please remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in queue so we see that you want to talk with us live on air. And don't be shy, press 1, please. Thank you. On today's show, we are talking about near-death experiences, part 2 of 2 episodes in a mini-series. And in a little time, we will start taking your calls for questions and mini readings live on air. If you missed part 1 of the mini-series about near-death experiences on January 23rd, you can listen to the replay anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue, my beautiful soul sister, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And you can always listen live and text chat with us during the shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live. So we also answer questions in the chat room and even mini readings if you wish to have a mini reading done. And we are proud to announce that we have now listeners in 17 countries all over the world. That's amazing. And we want to thank you all for honoring us with listening in wherever you are on the globe, calling in, chatting with us in the chat room, and trusting us to answer your questions. And we currently have listeners in Australia, Bhutan, Canada, Egypt, Spain, France, United Kingdom, Greece, India, Ireland, Morocco, Mauritius, I hope I say that correctly, Nigeria, Netherlands, New Zealand, Sweden, and United States. And our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is next Thursday, February 6th, with Soul Sister Show and host Sue and Anne discussing soul realignment. What are the Akashic records? Soul realignment, what are the Akashic records? We'll be on 10 a.m. Pacific in the US, 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece in Europe. And today we are talking about near-death experiences, part 2. So if you missed any of the shows in this mini-series or the first part of this one, you can always listen to the replay anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And you can keep yourself updated on our shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. And we are a live call-in worldwide radio show broadcasting today from Arizona in the US and Rhodes in Greece in Europe. Always remember that you can listen live and text chat with us during the shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. So if you don't want to call in, you can always find us and text chat with us at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And if you haven't called in yet, now is a great time to get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And Growth of the Soul Radio are since a few weeks on YouTube. So we recently created a new channel where you can find full episodes of past shows, currently from 19th of December last year, and also short videos about upcoming episodes. And right now I think we have, except for this one, I think we have 4 free upcoming episodes, so you can know what's coming up and you can mark your calendars so you don't miss our topics. We want to make it easy for everyone to listen to the replays anytime. And you can listen to, you can read more at scrollsofthesoul.com/post/YouTube. Or why not go to YouTube and search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio. And please subscribe to keep yourself updated on published episodes on YouTube. And Sissy, are we going back to the topic?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we are. Okay, so last we left off, which would be undergoing a life review, which is kind of an area I have a little bit of, I'm not sure if I agree, disagree, but I'm just kind of reporting what was reported. Here's the one in which I do and maybe have a little bit of an issue with is heaven and hell. So, of course, again, that is a religious belief, but I have to always refer back to those who had no religious backgrounds or at all, even
Yeah.
people who are reported atheists say the same. And okay, so let me just give you an idea of what was said. When people perceive that they're in the process of entering heaven, they report feeling blissful and they don't want to leave even if they have unfinished work to do on earth. However, the people who find themselves approaching hell during this near death experience report feelings of being terrified, um, and want to return to earth to change their lives. And again, this is data, like I said, taken um, from the scientific perspective of all walks of life, from all countries, from all denominations, or lack thereof. So, you know, you and I have that thing of how we feel about it. So I can only
Yeah.
report what has been reported. I'm not saying that it's incorrect because, of course, we don't know. We're here. This is where we're at. It may very well
Yeah.
be the case. And I think for us in the spiritual arena, we will probably always butt up against some aspects um, in this area that look and feel more of a religious statement. But but again, like I said before, and I can't emphasize it enough, we're talking of millions of people who have reported the same thing. And they report how they're reporting this is the sequence of events in which what happens when they die. So like I said, when they
Yeah.
first, that sensation of dying and leaving the body is that hovering over the body, being pulled in by a light, coming into vision or vision and sound of angels or family, meeting angels or deceased family members, undergoing that life review. I mean, these are kind of the same exact patterns everyone reports. It comes from all
Yeah.
aspects. So,
Yeah.
it has weight to it. It has merit, and I can't disregard it either. You know,
No.
it's kind of my
Because
feeling on it.
yeah, as you say, I think that we put in, at least I do, I put in um, traditional religion when it comes to heaven and hell. It's
Right,
like seeing something great above and seeing hell below, being
right,
a very nasty place. But it's when people are having their near-death experiences, they are perceiving something that's very accurate for them. And it's interesting that no matter if they are not non-believers of religion or they have
mhm,
all different religions, they are all reporting the same thing. So it may
right,
be something that they, out of their past experiences, can't explain in a different way. But we don't know. You see, we really don't know. We just have
right,
theories because we haven't
right,
been there yet.
right. Well, let's just say not that we haven't, just that we can't report back right now.
Yeah, no, we
you know,
have. Sorry, I have to correct that. We have been there,
right,
but we don't remember. So we haven't
right,
done it in this lifetime. We have done it in between lifetimes, and that's a little
right,
bit different.
right. But again, like I said, it's still an intriguing um, topic in general, even if this is a sequence of events, and even if hypothetically that is part of the sequence of events. Um, again, like we said, we don't know, but and we're always going to butt up against our own beliefs on that. But when I take the weight of the data and the millions upon millions of people who continually report the same thing, same exact sequence of events, um, And it's line by line by line is how it happens for each one of them. I have to pause and say, I don't know. I really don't know because these are people who have had that experience. So, I have
Yes.
to give some weight to it, even if maybe there's a little disbelief. I can't. It's not something I could confidently answer saying 100% that's just wrong because I can't. You know.
No,
So,
no, I know.
and this is
But
exactly.
I yeah,
Go ahead,
I'm
Ann.
intrigued by this part of our show when we are talking about heaven and hell because it's always, sometimes you can think that, but this is just a theory of mine. So maybe when you are perceiving certain things and you want to put them into wording and express them, maybe you are coming a little bit from your filters. And with the filters, I'm meaning how you have been brought up into this world and this time and the time you're living in. So
Mhm.
maybe there are some perceptions a little bit that are affecting. I don't know because
Well,
now we're
and
speaking about the soul.
in our case, okay, for instance, if you want to take it to the topic of soul realignment, just something I thought about as you were talking. So heaven would be perceived as a positive, hell would be perceived as a negative. Both of them each have
Yes.
polarities, right?
Yeah.
One polarity we all want absolutely nothing to do with. The other polarity, of course, we want everything to do with because it's good, it's right, it's what brings joy. So we
Yes.
know positive brings joy, negative, is hurtful, harmful, and can be destructive. And so, in that sense, that would make more sense to me when you talk about perceiving and how maybe we would perceive something. You know, is that
Yeah.
that would kind of clarify it a little more. But and then I have to kind of take it from that perspective to those who have never been exposed to any religion at all or the idea of anything religion. And those same
Yeah.
people report this same thing. So then you have to kind of
Yeah.
go, okay, there's definitely, this is one for the books. We got to put a question mark on it, you know. With, and this is all over, like I said, the data. When you look at the data and you see
Yeah.
not the religious people, you remove all religion out of this data, just specifically go
Yeah.
to those who have no idea of a religious faith and they're reporting the
Yeah.
same. Then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah. It makes
uh,
me kind of curious. I would like to see that exactly how they do experience it. But we are going
well,
to
like
get there. But I don't want to be there right now. Okay.
yeah, ditto. I'm with you. But remember, like I said, all the site, the where I got the info from would be the place to look if you were interested to see where they gathered all this information from in the first place, and then how it's broken down by cultures and religion and non-religion, things of that nature. So I have to
Yeah.
put some weight to it. Is my, kind of
Yes.
subjective perspective on it. So moving through
Yes.
that part of it, okay, the heaven and hell. What's reported next is the sensing of sights, sounds, smells, textures, and taste vividly, which, of course,
Yeah.
we associate taste vividly with the human
Yes.
experience. So I was
Yes.
intrigued by that. That there is the sight, sound, smells, textures, and taste vividly. Um,
Yes.
and it goes on to say, despite the fact that their physical bodies are unconscious, people who have near-death experiences report being able to see, hear, smell, feel, taste more vividly than they ever could on Earth. After returning,
Wow.
they often describe colors or music that are unlike anything they've encountered on Earth. And that one, that was surprising because we associate those five senses with, the ear,
the body,
the eye,
yes.
yeah, right, the
Yeah.
smell, the mouth, all of those we associate with the physical body. So that's kind of fascinating to me that those, maybe it kind of makes you wonder, okay, maybe it isn't really the physical body experiencing it. It is really the spiritual body experiencing it. It's
Can I
a good question.
Can I tell you my theory? I think
Sure.
that because we usually talk about seven chakras, but the body, as well as the soul, and that comes to energy centers. So there are many more senses, and I think that there are more chakras and energy centers maybe than those who are known and expressed. But I think that if you search a little bit, you can find out that the ear has its own kind of chakra. It's maybe a tiny one. So every organ and everything have kind of a chakra connected to it. So it makes sense if you think about it in that way. So it's like when we say, I'm hearing with my inner ear, or I'm seeing with my inner eye.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, these are actual areas of the body which are just vibrating on a spectrum that's not visible so much to the eye, but that through science you can actually see. It can be seen. So
yes.
I definitely don't discount it. I find it intriguing. And really quickly, if you haven't called in yet, I just want to make a quick comment. If you haven't called in yet, you can call in at 213-943-3587. Get yourself in the queue. And if you have any experience with this topic or know anyone who has experienced this, we would love to hear from you because this is the topic quite fascinating to both Anne and myself. And I did much study about many years ago on my first kind of trek into the spiritual arena. It's one of the first areas I delved into. So give us a call at 213-943-3587. And if you're out of the U.S., don't forget to dial +1. And if you want to get into the queue, just hit 1 on your keypad. All right, Sissy. Let me move on through that one. Again, like I said, that is kind of fascinating as far as the senses. The next thing that's reported is gaining a new spiritual insight. Again, this is for all. This is all across all spans of people, cultures, non-denominated, no religious background at all. During near-death experience, people often learn information that helps them understand what had previously been mysterious to that. One person said, in Evidence of the Afterlife, the science of near-death experience, that all the secrets of the universe, all knowledge of all time, everything became understandable during the near-death experience. That's really a very weighted statement. Okay, so I'm going to say that again because it is an extremely weighted statement. Let me just redo that again. One person said, as far as the evidence of afterlife, the science of near-death experience, all the secrets of the universe. Wouldn't we all just like to know that now? All the knowledge,
of course.
all the knowledge of all time. Okay, so I'm going to pause on that. Sissy, all the knowledge of all time. Well, if we think about it, all the knowledge of all time would mean past, present, and what's to come. But that also
Yes.
means, okay, in my line of thinking, it's a continual. Time isn't ending. It does not come to an end. There will not be a stop.
No.
If you have,
No.
this is just my brain comprehending what I'm digesting. All knowledge of all time. Well, it doesn't come to an end. Time just continues. So that part was, that statement is very bold. It's, not much is said, but it's a very bold statement. And then everything became understandable during the near-death experience. Everything became understandable during the near. Well, so that would mean, not just this life review we have when we're standing in a circular movie theater and seeing all aspects of our life. It also means what's out in the universe, what brings diseases, how we heal, those who have passed before us. I mean, there's a plethora of things you can think of when you hear the word. Everything became understandable during near-death experience. That is so. I don't know how else to say it, but to say that's a very bold statement.
It is.
And when
it is.
I don't think we could truly wrap our brains around what everything actually means.
Yeah. But I think it's an instant, absolute understanding. So whatever, when we talk about energies, we're talking about our 3D reality and how dense this world is. So when we're here, we need to struggle a little bit and fight for gaining the knowledge and opening up and things like that. And it's not coming just by itself most often. So coming to the other side and having transformed into a different vibration, dimension, reality means that we have access to all of these things. So we can, in an instant, just have this understanding because it's like we have opened the box for ourselves. So it's not dense anymore. There's a lighter energy and we can tap into whatever we want to know. That's absolutely fantastic. Can I go now? I'm just kidding. I want to know. I'm curious.
I'm going to say something now. Bless you, my child. That's my little joke.
Thank you.
Okay. It's just, it's a very small. Okay, so during the research, and I'm gathering all line by line what each aspect is perceived, how each aspect is perceived. And there's not a lot under gaining new spiritual insight. There wasn't really a lot written, right? So, but when I read it, like I said, the things that stood out, which made it much bigger than its actual statement, was knowledge of all time, everything.
Yes.
That's big. That's really big. I was left after reading that wanting more. Okay, could you list for me, just some of your interpretation of what knowledge of all time and everything, meant to the person's perceiving it. And of course you can't, if you think about it, you can't list it. There wouldn't be enough space to list it, I'm sure. So
it wouldn't be enough paper.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. So the further on I moved through the breakdown of the sequence of events, what I noticed was the smaller, the less the information was verbalized. It was really concise. It really didn't need a lot of explanation to it. Where at first, you hear a big kind of story behind how you leave the body. There's this hovering over the body. You go into a tunnel. There's a lot of wording with that. But as you move
Yeah.
on, and you come to, let's say, what your destination is, um, now you start coming into a lot less wording, but some very precise language. And like
Yes.
I said throughout this whole show, this is everyone who's ever been had this experience, who's ever, denominational, non-denominational, atheists, all cultures, all reporting that. So that's kind of big and bold. So I'm just going to kind of move through a little bit because I see we're coming close to the top of the hour. Um, so one of the other lessons they said, or one of the other things that occur is learning that it's not time to die permanently. That was kind of
Yeah.
interesting too. But at least, you can take that several ways, maybe for them at that time. So it just wasn't their time to die, I guess is what's said. And then, let me see. Somehow the people who go through near death experiences figure out that it's not their time to die, either as a spiritual being informs them that they have unfinished work they need to complete on earth, or they come to a boundary in their travels and must decide whether to stay in the afterlife or return to life on earth. That's pretty cut and dry. There's no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fairly cut and dry there.
So
And then,
I actually heard people that said that they felt so good on the other side. Their first feeling was they didn't want to return to their life.
right,
And that's
but
fascinating to hear, right?
right. I mean, in the same respect, though, it's from this data, it kind of sounds like they're still kind of given somewhat of a choice. But I think maybe there's maybe some type of explanation as to, now you know what this looks like and what it feels like. But there's, some things you may have, probably recommended you finish out.
Yeah.
It's kind of my way of
and
explaining it.
and maybe that is because I don't think that anything is written in stone or that we are here to learn something. We are here to grow, experience ourselves. I'm just talking about my belief. And
Right.
if we kind of had a pre-plan before we came here and we haven't finished, maybe we are presented with that and the option to come back or just stay where we are. And as beings, I mean, spiritual beings and souls, we always have the free will because that's a universal law. I know you don't like the names law,
Yeah.
but it's a universal law, and it's our free will. So I do actually think that we are presented with a choice. So if we want to, of course, we can remain there.
Well, remember, now you have to go within the confines of the topic in the first place. So the topic is near death experience. So you're already kind of under the presumption that it wasn't their time to go, right? Because that's the topic. So you kind of take it as a given that, of course, they're going to return because otherwise you wouldn't have this information that we're talking about. So it's kind of a given, I guess.
But of course, but I still feel that we are you have been reading and researching about the stories of those who chose to come back. But I feel that there are maybe some, because we can't hear them right now if they don't come to us from spirit and talk to us, right? So I do have a feeling that there are some of them who actually choose to stay. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I have to just take it in the confines of the topic, was my point.
I know.
But okay, so let me get through some of the final aspects of it. So what was reported next was returning to the physical body, which of course we would expect because this is a near-death experience. When people's soul re-enter their physical body, then um, they say they recover from whatever illness or injury had caused them to approach death or clinically dead. And that one's kind of
Yeah.
fascinating to me too, because now when you get into the data, like I discussed earlier, these could be cancer patients, these could be people who had been hit by a car and you would expect brain damage, or those who were out in the cold, frozen even, who came back into life where there would have been brain damage. And
Yeah.
yet the body quickly repairs from the illness or injury. That's fascinating to me too. That's
Yes,
I
it is.
kind of wonder if you come back with the ability, since just a little while ago we were discussing everything, knowledge of all time and everything. You now have that knowledge and understanding of how to heal the physical body where you didn't have that before, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's
Yeah.
this rapid healing that occurs with all of those who report when they come back from an illness or an injury. That's some pretty cool stuff right there. I mean, that's really cool because you're kind of somewhat coming back with a lot of information you didn't have before. Before you left
Yeah.
to head in that direction, so to speak. Okay, so
Yeah.
from that point on, one of the other reported aspects is finally you're living a transformed life. This is what a lot of people, millions and millions of people report with this experience is after a near-death experience, many people decide to live differently than they lived prior to going through the experience. People who have returned from near-death experiences to their earthly lives are usually more kind, less kind of melodramatic, or less dramatic, I think, more generous. They have generous people, and then they are were before. And according to groundbreaking near-death experiences from life after death,
Yes.
this is just what was reported. So they,
Yeah.
their own unique experiences alters them, of course, coming back, having that new perspective. I could only imagine, giving an
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
You would definitely
Yeah.
change aspects of
Yes.
your life.
It's a life-changing experience. It is. It is a life-changing experience.
Right. And that's some of that information as well also came from George Mason University. I did try to give out some data and some places that you can look when, if you're interested in the topic. Life After Life by Raymond Moody, MD, for that final
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
With this
I
topic.
actually posted a lot of things in the chat room. So scrollsofthesoul.com/live and scroll down to the chat room and you can see it's going to remain there a week until we are going live with the next show. So if you want to have some options about books and what to read and pages and links and stuff, it's there. I posted it.
Okay, good. That's good. Again, it could be something in which we maybe in the future delve into the topic again. You never know. It's just maybe what we can do, I am just thinking out loud, would be to try to locate those who's had near-death experiences and have someone come on the show to talk about that. I think that would be kind of intriguing to do.
Yeah.
For
that
show.
would be interesting. So interesting.
Yep. You know me. I'm
Very
setting up our next show. So.
I know.
Time for more research.
Yes,
Have to
I
look to
know.
see if I can locate someone because I would be curious if the explanation given in both part one and part two would line up
Yeah.
with um, someone that we could locate who has gone through this before.
Yes.
So what do you think of the topic, Sissy? Did you enjoy this topic?
Oh, yes. It's very intriguing for me, and I don't actually, I've read a little bit myself in the past because I've gone through losing loved ones in my life, and it makes you start to wonder, and it makes you, it's a trigger, at least it was for me, to start to understand um, in a more scientific way, if you can, and also in a spiritual sense, because we can have a lot of theories, and of course, you and I, we have a lot of experience when it comes to speaking with deceased loved ones and things like that, but it's a very different way, and they don't express these experiences. And it's very interesting that no matter your religion, no matter where you're from and your upbringing or whatever, if you're an atheist or if you're a believer or if you're a spiritual person, everybody have very similar experiences. It's so intriguing to see.
Right, right, and I think that's what for me, just like you years ago, because when you have loss of someone you love and you're close to you, I don't care who you are, it kind of sets you on a course, even if it's not right away. It does kind of set you on a course of understanding, of seeking out, of wanting to know more, of wanting to even feel some comfort to know that those who who have preceded us, who have left, that they are in a better place, and that they are happy, and that they and for us here, going through the emotions of losing someone, those that type of information is can really bring someone a lot of peace if
Yes.
in the
Yes.
grieving process to I think
Yes.
it's the closest thing outside of the work we do you're going to get to having some type of answer to someone you've lost and maybe what they experienced in their own journey. It's going to be the closest we're ever going to know while here.
Yes. Yes.
So that was kind of my overall reason early on to start the research because losing someone, it led me in that direction to give me some answers,
Yeah.
which helped bring
Yeah.
about peace, quite honestly, and
Yes.
it brought
It
peace
does.
a lot quicker than I thought it would have.
Yeah.
So I mean, even to that degree, I would recommend it. So to anyone, who may be suffering from grief, is to read those books. You know, it's a help. It's a huge
Yeah.
help.
It is a help.
Eh,
Yes.
Anyway, before we wrap it up, I would like to just say thank you to all of our worldwide listeners as well, because we are honored that you guys, 17 countries, it's very impressive to Ann and I. We haven't even had this channel for a full year, and we are extremely honored. And so, for each one of you guys who have taken the time to come in afterward and listen, we want to give you a shout out. So, like Anne said, we want to thank Australia, Bhutan, Canada, Egypt, Spain, France, United Kingdom, which I traditionally call Britain, Greece,
Yeah.
India, Ireland, Morocco, Mauritius, Nigeria, Netherlands, New Zealand, Sweden, and of course the United States. Thank you, everyone, for entrusting us and listening in and listening to the replays when we are done with the show. We were really honored by that, and we were extremely honored to find this data and to know that you're out there all over the world. So we just want to honor you back by saying thank you and recognizing what countries we know are listening in.
Yes, yes. And that's really wonderful. And we do this because it's our passion. And if we can make a difference for anyone, or, even give mini readings and advice, but you can't give very deep advice when it comes to a short reading. But I feel that being out talking to people and sharing experiences, and even things that we may not be so expertised in, so to speak, it's
Right,
good, because I think we need to talk about everything, and having people in to be able to interact with you, and it's absolutely wonderful.
right.
And are you ready to start wrapping up?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Again, thank you, everyone. Go ahead, Anne.
Okay. So, thank you, everybody. We are coming to the end of the show, and on today's show, we have been talking about near death experiences, part two of two episodes in a mini series. And if you missed part one, or even if you are maybe listening to this right now and you missed this show, you can listen to this mini series at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. You can listen to the replays anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is next Thursday, February 6th, with Soul Sister Show and host Sue and myself, Anne, discussing soul realignment. What are the Akashic records? Soul realignment, what are the Akashic records? And we be on the usual time, 10 a.m. Pacific in the US, 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece in Europe. And of course, you can listen to all replays of all our past episodes anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. Scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And you can keep yourself updated on upcoming shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. And also remember that you can always listen live and text chat with us during the shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. Scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And we are here for you. So if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And Scrolls of the Soul Radio are since a few weeks now on YouTube. So we recently created a new channel where you can find full episodes of past shows, currently from 19th of December last year until now, and also upcoming episodes, short videos of upcoming episodes, if you want to keep yourself updated. We want to make it easy for everyone to listen to replays anytime. And there's a lot of people who actually are both watching and listening to YouTube. You can read more at scrollsofthesoul.com/post/YouTube to find out more, or why not search for scrollsofthesoul.com. No, sorry, Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube. So you can find us there. Search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube. And if you want to help us out, please subscribe to keep yourself updated on published episodes on YouTube. And I also want to thank you all for listening and calling in and interacting with us and just being here listening to us. And we're back next Thursday, February 6th, with Soul Sister Show and host Sue and Ann talking about soul realignment. What are the Akashic records? 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece. And Sissy, is there anything you want to add? to the listeners
Uh,
before the show ends?
just again, like we stated throughout the show, just to thank everyone from around the world who's taken that time to listen to our shows, whether it be live or past. We really do appreciate it, and this is why Anna and I both had made the call to give a shout out to everyone, every country that had taken that time. We really do appreciate it, and you guys are awesome. Maybe keep in mind, maybe next time, give us a shout, give us a call, come on air, and not just
Yes.
listen to the replay. So next time you can listen
Yes.
to yourself on air. With that being said, I will give a shout out like I usually do to my mom, who of course isn't here
Yes.
any longer. Angels watch over you all
Yes.
night long. And
I say love, light, peace, and joy to all of you. Until next time, see you soon. Bye.
bye everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.